Tyron Smith. Big Tyron Smith. We love you, Tyron Smith. I love Tyron Smith. You know, I love him because he's like the gentle giant. He don't say much, but he's a monster. You know, he's been a monster for a team for a long time, but it seems like he may be in decline due to injury. We've seen it for the last 3 to 4 years. It's been that back. And when you have a back injury, it just seems like it doesn't get better. He hasn't had surgery because it's been more related to spasms. But it just seems like, I mean, when he missed, 2017, he missed a boatload of games that hurt us. He missed games this year. You know, when he starts having the spasms, that really hurts him. So that's going to be a grade that's going to knock you down just on injury front. Now, if you're looking at what Tyron Smith did this year as far as penalties, he had 10 penalties this year. He had the most penalties, I believe, out of anybody on the team this year. He had 7 holding penalties, 3 false starts. But he didn't give up a sack this year. He didn't give up a sack this whole year, which
that's big.
That's big, you know, because I actually thought he did, but he didn't give up a sack this whole year. It's kind of like, what do we do with Tyron Smith now? You know, he's got the big contract, okay, and he's 27 now, I believe, and he's been in the league like 8 years because he came in super young.
He was like 19, I think.
Yeah, he was 19, 20 years old. I just wonder about Tyron Smith. You know, what is he going to do with his body? Is his body going to hold up? I think that's the only thing I worry with Tyron Smith. I don't worry about his ability. He's still an all-world tackle. It's just his injury, and that's what I worry about. So I think that they need to start covering themselves in the draft and start drafting some offensive linemen in this draft, especially when this is a good draft for offensive linemen. Not to say you're going to take Tyron Smith's spot because he's an all-world tackle, but injury can take you out the game, and we've seen that time and time again. Sean Lee and other players, that you can be as good as you want, but if you can't play, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for everything that happened with Tyron Smith this year, I'm going to go ahead and give Tyron Smith a C this year.
Oh.
I'm giving Tyron Smith a C this year. He made the Pro Bowl.
That's going to catch people off guard in the comments.
They can catch it off guard. He had 10 penalties this year, 7 holding. I know you didn't give up sack, but 7 holding penalties.
And some big ones.
You were the most big ones, and we seen Tyron Smith, and I'm not disrespecting Tyron Smith. I'm just telling you what I feel. You feel me, G? We saw him have a lot of problems with edge rushers. Those real fast edge rushers that were getting off like the Frank Clarks and those type of guys that had a lot of speed. Javion Clowney gave him some problems too in that Texans game. Those speed rushers that were getting that quick get off, because he was having the back injuries, he's limited in how quick he can get off. So that hurt him, and I believe those holding penalties, and they were critical holding calls. So yes, he's got to get the C in my book. I'm sorry, I love you, Tyron Smith, to death, but I can't give you a B when I seen that.
Looking through some Facebook comments, Marcus Smith gives us an A. Floyd Hope says a B-. Grace gives an A+. Denzel B-. William Reynolds a B. Stephen Arthur B. Annette A-. Dave A. Therrell B+. Kendrick B-. Robert B. So a lot of people on a B. I think everybody's kind of afraid to drop it to a C like you did. But
yeah, they're afraid because of Tyron Smith. Maybe they're going on the reputation too, because, you know, I mean, let's be honest. He's one of the top guys, but sometimes you get there on a reputation, right? Even with the Pro Bowl, some of those guys don't have all pro years or Pro Bowl years, but they get there because, you know what, you get there because you've been good for the last 5 years. So we're just going to throw you in there. I'm not taking nothing away, Tyron Smith. His ability, as I said, injury, and he does give up a lot of holding calls, and it has been happening quite a bit in his last few years.
Ron Smith, appreciate your comment about the supporter badge. Seberg gives a B-, says for Tyron Smith, and I seriously think we need to look for a new blindside blocker. Katina says a lot of holding calls. Mama T gives a D. Wow.
Ooh-wee. Mama T ain't playing.
So she went a little hard on him.
Yeah, she went hard. Everybody's, you know, like I said.
Billy 6, C+.
I say everybody was giving around that B to C range with Tyron Smith. Some A's, but it was more the B to C range with Tyron Smith this year.